Okay, Kojo, we're gonna break it down here.
Let's do it.
I have so many questions.
Okay, that's very intimidating. I mean, so anyway.
All this beautiful Hempel equipment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's really good to see you too.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate your taking the time. You're a busy guy traveling all over the place.
For you. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so nice, so nice. Well, we've only had a chance to meet once before today, I believe, and I've kind of cyber stalked your beautiful project, and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait to. Let's just start there with the project that you're working on in Ghana.
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest thing for me is, I worked here. I had a design studio here for a very long time.
You're in Minnesota, in the United States.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And I always knew that there was a bigger vision with why I was educated, why my dad brought me here to study and to learn and grow myself. We come from a part of the world where so much help that's needed. Absolutely, that's so. I think it's 2012, 2013. I started to buy property on the coastline of Accra. I just started off with one piece of a plot of land, and it was just about 100 by 100 feet. But then as time...
What does it look like to even buy a property? I mean, are there realtors? Is there a for sale sign in the ground? Is there an MLS?
No, it's completely different. The land tenure system in Ghana is mostly stool land. There's some government land, but most of the land is stool land. So to buy land, you have to go through the tribal chiefs, which is very complicated.
When you say stool land?
Stool.
Okay.
So
what does that mean?
Stool land means it comes from a tribal lineage. So the king or the chief of that town is the only one entitled to sell land.
Okay.
So our land system is based on some traditional beliefs, traditional systems that are in place. Obviously, you can buy state lands through the government, and so for me to buy like the land that we have, we had to go through the stool to get it done. So again, to fast track it, I ended up buying 300 acres, all coastal property, with the goal of creating one of West Africa's first sustainable communities in place. But to do that, we started with the first phase, which is the hotel, the one that you've seen called 1111, which yesterday was 1111, by the way.
Oh,
yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, yesterday was 1111, so it's a very special day for us.
It's my brother's birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's my grandfather's birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out to Chad, and what's your grandpa's name?
Nana Obing.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's his birthday. So, but yeah, that project has been the flagship for us. We started it about 2.5 years ago, and we're very hopeful that it will be completed by the second quarter of next year.
So tell me all about it. Like how many units and how? It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
We'll definitely have the website in the show notes. But
thank you. So it's 54 units, it's 71 beds. The mix is a typical hotel suite, and then we have some 2-bedroom oceanfront villas, and then we have 3 penthouse units as well. Next to that, I also started 18 private villas. Those are 3 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, and it sits on a hill. Those are called 444 residences. The way the hotel concept is set up, we talked about Dubai earlier. We sell the individual units to people, and then we have a hotel management arm that will run it. So it's purely an investment opportunity for people. Let's say you probably can buy a room at the Four Seasons, and then we run it for you. And then whenever you want to use it, you just tell us that, hey, Kojo, today, the next week, we want to block it out, and I want to use it with my family. But outside of that, anyone else can use it, and you just make money from it. So that's the general concept behind the hotel.
Where are your investors coming from that are helping you build the project, but also will be those investors that'll just buy a unit?
Yeah, so the way we structured this with 2 pool classes. We have the general partnership and we have the limited partnership of class, and I'm sure you're very familiar with these. So the general partners were the ones who came in purely for equity base purposes. They saw the vision, they saw where we're going with the whole development, and they came in early. And then we have the limited partners who essentially will buy a unit, and then we take it and we run it for them. Most of our investors are, I say it's just quite worldwide. We have guys from the UK, Netherlands, the US, Ghana, Nigeria. It's just a complete jambalaya of investors, So, the key was to start it and then start to sell the vision out for people to buy into that.
Okay, so it takes a lot to get where you are today. You were born in Ghana?
I was, yeah. Born and raised. I came to the U.S. when I was 19 years old. My dad shipped me off to Arizona State. Didn't know anyone here.
Wildcat.
We're going to have a fight. It's a Sun Devil.
Oh, that's right. I was a Wildcat. You were a Sun Devil.
Then
yes.
this podcast is done. We're done. You went to Tucson? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Yeah. So that's where I started out. And then I got my first degree from University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And then worked for the Wynn Corporation.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, designed the Fairway Villas. That's my claim to fame.
So architectural degree.
Architectural degree, yes. Okay. Bachelor's of Science in Architecture. And then
designed, I didn't want to doubt over that or brush over what you just said before that. Yeah, you designed what?
I always say that my claim to fame is the Fairway Villas. We have the villas and the fairways at the Wynn. Yeah, so that was my...
Oh, very cool.
Absolutely. And then I came to U of M for my master's. And then from there...
How did you... come on. Why Minnesota?
My wife is from
I was going to say there's a girl involved in this story for sure.
Yeah, so I Minnesota's been my home. It's been here, but I think since 2012, I always knew I had to go back home. So we started to take trips to Ghana. By then, most of my childhood friends had come to a place where we can start doing business with them, and we weren't kids anymore. We can start talking about business and sharing ideas and how to grow the country as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So really, the partners that really got this going were your friends from growing up.
Absolutely, 100%. When you're starting, for me, when you're starting a very green project and you don't have that much experience, the only people who you can trust and turn to will be friends and family. That's how it started for us. So I remember just coming up with the concept, and then I reached out to my best friend out in New Jersey, and he says, "Look, I'll buy 50% into it." I wish I had sold 30. So him and I ended up splitting 11-11, 50-50, and then from there we developed it. He put in some seed money. I did as well, and then we started to dilute once investors came aboard. And that's how we funded this project. Wow. It's and I said I was going to talk to you about this. That it's a very big challenge when you're developing in Ghana and most Africa as well.
What are those challenges?
The banks don't have an incentive to lend to developers.
And is there a bank system in Ghana?
Oh yeah, it's huge, yeah. But the biggest target for the banks in Ghana is mostly in the agro and mining sector.
Okay.
They have the banks have mostly a short-term outlook on investment and don't really have the capacity to do patient investing. So it's always a challenge for real estate developers because most of our projects take about 3 years, sometimes 4 years. And they can go and just
to get approvals, or just the financing pieces
to get it built, because things are a little bit challenging. We build out of different technology than it is in the Western world, so it takes quite a bit, and also the funding isn't there, so it takes quite a bit, and the banks don't have that incentive to do that. I would even say that for our project, we've come about 70% of the way. And we're now going to see if we can get a bridge loan to push it through to the end.
Wow,
it's quite challenging.
And will any U.S. banks or banks from other countries look at it, or?
Yeah. The biggest challenge there is that if a U.S. bank looks at it, what's the recourse? Like, let's say Wells Fargo says, Coach, I'm going to fund your project, and something goes wrong with the project. They have to fly to Ghana, with the logistics of trying to get the project sold and then carry their money out. So the key will be to tie that connection with another local bank and have that affiliation. But that hasn't been done yet. I think it's something that we seriously have to look at. But I think there's an appetite.
Interesting.
There's an appetite for Western banks to start looking at development in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah. How is the underwriting different in a project in Ghana?
Oh, it's quite tedious. We started the process actually with one bank. It just took about 6 months of just finding documentation. You bring this document, that's not enough. You have to go get another document, that's not enough, and it takes quite it's a tedious process to go through that. I think the banks in Ghana essentially want to see that you've actually put in about 60 to 70% of the value before they come in to fund it. And at that point, you've almost finished the project. So you don't really want to go through the process of having them underwrite the loan and then trying. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It honestly doesn't work. Yeah. So for us, I mean, right now we need it desperately, but we're starting the process of talking to a bank to get it to the finish line of that.
And how do the returns on the investment there differ from here? Just because that's what I know.
Yeah. So for our project 1111, for example, Ghana has one of the highest rates of tourism visitors. So for a hotel, your returns actually range between, I'll say, from 28 to about 35% return on investment.
I brought my checkbook.
and you and I can just do the math real quick. So a typical hotel in Ghana would, the ADR, the average daily rate for a hotel for a 2 to 3 star hotel is about $80 to $90 a night.
80 to 90 US dollars
a night.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so when you go to the 4 to 5 star, you're looking at close to about 250 to 300. We have some resorts next to us that are charging close to about $1,600 to $1,000 a night.
Wow.
For that. So if you're an investor and you, let's say, buy one of our 1-bedroom units for $150,000 and we give you an ADR of $260 a night. And we also can say we'll give you a 60% occupancy rate. Yeah, your investment is paid off within 3 years.
Wow. Yeah,
of that. So that has been successful for us. So when we started, the concept was a bit harder, but out of the 54 units, we ended up selling 47 of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing. And you said the construction is different.
Mm-hmm.
How is it different?
We build out of masonry units. In the U.S. you can build with stick frame or stud framing, but in Ghana everything is done out of masonry units. So you have to, and the labor is what drives the construction. So every piece has to be stacked. Every piece, there's not an automated.
So, and when you say that, like it's literally
a block,
concrete blocks.
Concrete blocks, yes.
Okay.
And it's just stacked one at a time, right? So imagine doing a project the scale of ours, which is, we have a 300-seat banquet hall. We have 2 restaurants. We have 54 units, and it's quite a big project. We have 7 swimming pools. You
have 7 swimming pools.
Yes.
Wow.
And I can't swim.
Oh my goodness.
So
well, we'll watch you by the edge of the pool.
Someone would take advantage of it. Someone would take advantage of it. Yeah. So
you have to have special insurance for that.
Yeah, please.
Kojo falls in the pool. It's a little rider.
It's a problem. Yes. I have to walk around with floaties all day. So it takes quite a bit of time, but we also can understand the impatience of investors, right? If someone's put in some money, they want to see returns happening in about 2 years, right?
What materials like the block and all of the other materials that go into building a beautiful property like yours, how much of that can be sourced right within your own country?
Most of when I say shell and core, and you understand this, most of the shell and core can be sourced within. Cement and rebar, iron rods can be sourced locally, but everything outside of that has to be brought in. And depending on where you're getting your materials from, there's a lead time of close to about 6 weeks to 3 months to 4 months. So that also causes a bit of an impact on construction. So you have to pre-plan all this stuff in advance. I think we're talking about that we don't manufacture much in Ghana, so everything is imported, and so it becomes challenging when you have to do that, and it delays the project quite a bit.
That was fascinating to me that you had talked about how there's such a robust workforce without the jobs, and so what an opportunity if more projects like this come to fruition, that there could be a way to create some manufacturing facilities and produce more, both for for Africa and for other countries. Do you see yourself kind of going in that direction or being a catapult for some of that?
100%. 100%. The reason when I was talking about buying the property, we started to buy one piece of plot at a time, but now we own 300 acres, and it's situated in a small fishing community. It has the highest teenage pregnancy. It's a dead-end village, so everyone who goes out there is going out there for a purpose. By the time this whole 300 acres is said and done, we would have directly employed, based on our ESG studies, would have directly employed close to about 5,000 to 7,000 people.
Wow.
In the catchment area. Wow. That's a direct employment. And then the indirect employment, anything that comes out of that, I don't think we've even quantified that, So there's a big purpose and there's a big push behind what we're doing. It's the economy, or the demographic, not the economy, the demographic of Ghana, and I speak for Ghana because that's what I'm used to, is very bottom heavy. Most of the population age is between 40 to about 15, or 40 or below.
So when you say bottom heavy, young.
Very young.
Interesting.
Very young. So we have to start finding ways to use innovative technology to create materials for building. One of the things that we're really looking at is rammed earth, using clay, because there's abundance of clay, and how do you use rammed earth to build the walls? It gives you the building finish already. You don't have to import any new materials, and it's a very sustainable building product as well. So these are things that we're looking at, and then using recycling and shredding plants to reuse plastics, fabrics in building technology as well.
Fascinating. Mm-hmm. And is there any pushback when you are taking maybe kind of some Western experiences and education and go back home, or is it, are these ideas really welcome in the community?
Yes, they are. They absolutely are. We need help. The economy needs help. I think the beautiful thing about being trained in the West is that, I think the West has been through what we're going through. It's always a cycle. We're always a little behind schedule. So whatever's been learned here, the mistakes that have been made, we get to gain from those mistakes. So all of the technology, all the things that I have learned here has come in really well to implement in that. And it's actually fast-track the process as well. Because, like I said, like so many mistakes that were made here, we get to eliminate those and then get to use the polished version in there. I think the biggest thing for us is just trying to figure it out and put it all together, and how to grow it. And again, I would also say that I take Ghana again. Ghana is very young. The economy is very young. We just gained our independence in 1957.
Wow.
And then even through all that time period, There's been just governments trying to figure out what to do with themselves. So essentially, we're only a 20-year-old country.
Wow, that's
And,
remarkable.
Yeah, we just say, and that's my quote of saying it's a 20-year-old country, but realistically, it's about a 20-year-old country of figuring itself out, of coming into some wealth.
And what is the current government structure?
It's a democracy every 4 years. Our elections are December 7th, every December 7th, and this follows the same as the U.S.
Wow.
Yes.
And who's currently running the country?
His name is John Dramani Mahama. And he's made some good strides in, again, without getting political, because
Not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm just trying to understand.
But he's a year into his presidency, and we're very hopeful. We're very, very hopeful with where in the direction that the economy is going. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What opportunities are there for people outside the country to take advantage is not what I'm trying to say, but be able to
exactly
invest in and partner with and just kind of explore opportunity.
Lisa, I think there's so many things to achieve, right? I mean, basically everything you touch, you can polish it to make it to look good, right, for the country. But I will come from a purely biased standpoint because I'm into real estate development. I'm an architect, and the biggest thing for us, our biggest area where we see a huge opportunity is the financial sector. Like because the returns are there. There's a reason Ghana has a deficit of 2 million housing deficit. Yes.
Wow.
2 million, yes. And that's probably as of the last couple of years. I haven't looked at it recently. There's a huge need for housing. The problem is finding the right institutions to fund these projects and choosing the right projects. For me, coming from a biased standpoint of view, I look at it from the financial sector because that's one of our biggest keys. The other need is infrastructure, and then infrastructure and agriculture is huge because we import everything. We even import toothpick.
Wow. Fun
fact. It is. We do, and like the land is so fertile. The weather is constant all year round. I think large-scale agriculture is something that needs to be really looked at.
Sounds like we need to start a winery.
I'm game. I am game. I am game. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful in terms of trying to figure out what to do. I think the key is to understand the economy.
I'm going to just tell you how ignorant I am.
Please.
Because when
Can I take a sip?
You absolutely.
I've been going at it. I've been going like 100 miles an hour here. You can tell me to stop, Jenna.
No, but my friend Patras drinks coffee like it doesn't, that there's a bottomless pit of it. Okay, so yeah.
That's why I feel so because I forgot I was drinking coffee.
We got to switch to the wine.
Yes, that'll mellow me down. Please go ahead, you were saying.
But, I think that, if you're ignorant like me and not a huge world traveler, and I apologize to everyone who feels like that's a sin, but, you think of Africa as being desert and lions, not as someone, shows how ignorant I am. Not this beautiful ocean.
Yeah.
The ocean and the country. It's just gorgeous.
Absolutely.
I love looking at your website.
I would say, one of the reasons, the other reason that I started to really look at Ghana is to create a bridge between the Western world, especially the areas that I know, and then Ghana. I still bring people to Ghana to visit. I always encourage people to come to Ghana with me, to come and visit for at least a week to see what it's like. And it's always a change of perspective when people do that. I want to organize trips, especially from Minnesota, because that's where I'm connected to, on a yearly basis, where we can get people, maybe about a group of 7 to 10 people, travel over there to Accra with me, and then see what other opportunities they see, because there's a different perspective. But it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful.
Well, and you have to travel off. You're there quite a bit. You've got 2 young men
Yes.
that you're raising, and a Minnesota wife.
Yes.
And it's got to be taxing with all the travel that you're doing.
It is, yeah. So I'm on a flight every other month.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm always on a plane. I've been doing this since 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, so 13 years now.
Are you still working on projects here?
You know, I gave that up because I just didn't have the time for it.
Right. So you're all in.
I am, and I actually don't practice architecture outside of the projects that we develop. So I'm all in. We recently launched a 26-story building in Accra, 144 units, and
that's housing?
That's housing.
Okay.
Yes, that's housing. So I'm in. I'm all in. My team and my staff were all in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have people working here and there, or is your team there?
Everything is now moved over to Accra. The talent pool for designers and architects is phenomenal. There's eagerness to learn. So I felt that I owed to go and do that. You know, not to take anything away from the West, right? I think the West has always made me. It's always going to be a place where I would have a foundation. But yeah, I think there's so much of an opportunity to grow people and grow the youth in what we're doing.
What resources or connections are you currently looking for that would help with the things that you're doing? And when I say help, I don't know that I like that word, because I feel like what you're creating is a real business opportunity. This is not a charity. This is business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's whoever's invested in this sees the vision, right? So it's a two-way street. I get to help, and then the investor also gets the dividends out of it. For me and for all of us, my partners and I'll say we need ideas. We need ideas to be honed. We need ideas to be grown. But we also need the support. Like, we need the support not only financially, but just any connections that can help us bridge that gap. There's a gap that we're trying to bridge, and we're trying to grow this economy. So I think that's it. I mean, we need ideas. We need we need stakeholders who see what we're trying to do and grow that. I think that'll be awesome.
Do you see that do you see that coming in the way of individual small companies, or do you think there's a place for large corporations to make more of an impact in Ghana?
When we talk corporations, I get scared a bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I'm asking.
When I hear corporations, the first thing I hear is a different tone, right?
Like my way or the highway.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, I think that's okay, but I think it could be for us. I think it could be like a small family house or something that can help drive change, right? Because corporations are great, but I think we're trying to coin a whole different culture and a whole different ideology, and also create something ours. And so I think corporations are great. I think it would help because corporations have funding.
Yeah, unfortunately, money. Yeah, there's that money thing.
Corporations have a lot of power, but I think the biggest thing for us is that we get to maintain the goal, the vision, the integrity of what we're doing. And if a corporation says, "Look, we believe in that vision. We believe in where you guys want to go with what you see," yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think to say that, oh no, corporate, no, it's very silly. It would be very silly of me to say that. But I think it has to fall within the vision and not to sell.
And keep the culture and the heart, like you talked about, the soul of the people and the community, and keeping that intact is super important.
The biggest comment, and I would dare anyone to poll this, is that the biggest comment that I receive from anyone who visits Ghana is not the weather, is not the water, it's not the wealth in minerals or whatever resources we have. It's the people. You know, the smiles on the people's faces, the natural hawkers who are just on the side of the road selling water with a smile on their face. That is the resource that you can't buy. You know, you can't buy that. And through the hardship that whoever's going through in that economy, you see them smiling. You're just like, well, there's something here. There's something breathtaking here.
Wow. So you've got the housing project that you're working on. Do you see something after that? I mean, do you already?
Yeah.
Is it top secret?
No. So currently we the projects that we have in the pipeline, we have the 300 acres where we're creating one of Ghana's one of West Africa's first oceanside communities. We have the ANAPS project, which is a 26-story tower. But the project that I really have my eye on has nothing to do with architecture or development. You know, it has to do with transportation. You know, you travel to a lot of countries that use the waterways for taxi and roll-on service, roll-on, roll-off services. One of the biggest things we want to achieve is using the coastline all the way through West Africa to shuttle people and goods across from Nigeria to Togo to Cameroon all the way down, and not just vessels, not just cargo vessels, but human transportation.
So on the water.
On the water. So we've actually engaged a company in Australia to research the catamaran boats. I think that's another impact that we have to do outside of just the building. I think the building side we can definitely control that, but we want to help move people around.
Move people and products.
Absolutely, and products, yes, absolutely.
Interesting.
That is,
and that's a challenge now.
That's a huge challenge.
Really?
Yes, that's a huge challenge. It's there's no rail systems. Flights are very expensive to move from Nigeria. If I have to fly from Accra to Gambia, which is like flying from Minneapolis to Chicago, I have to go to London and then come back down.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Wow. And what are the road systems like?
The infrastructure is not there. So there's a lot of unwanted accidents, a lot of heavy trucks. Everything is being moved by the roads. All the goods are being moved by the roads. The roads aren't wide enough and aren't designed enough to haul into state or into country links. So I think one of the biggest things that we could do is how do we relook at that water transportation system? So that's the next.
And so the ocean there is calm enough to be able to do that?
No.
Okay.
No, so you have to find the right vessels.
Okay.
Right? You have to find the right vessels. The monohull vessels are a bit challenging, so using the dual or tri-hull vessels, the bigger catamarans can do that. Something over 60 meters or 70 meters can definitely do that leg. You know, they have 100-meter LNG vessels or even the hybrid of electric vessels that can actually do that.
Are there models, other places in the world that you're looking at?
Yeah, Zanzibar in the Indian Ocean. In Tanzania, I spent some time there. They have the Roro vessels, not Roro, so they have the passenger vessels. They call it Kilimanjaro 1 to 8, and I've been on them. It's like being in a plane. It's stunning. And we want to start bringing that to West Africa.
Fascinating. What about water and trash and just normal utilities, electric, you know?
It's all there.
It's all there.
It's all there, yeah. Water's there. Electricity is, you know, it's where the world is lit up. You know, we have it. Our biggest thing will probably be trash and what do we do? I mean, there's a lot of pollution, especially for us being on the ocean, the coastline. There's so much trash that comes from the fishermen, and everything from the land going back into the water. So it's a lot of trash. It's not as America's lucky, because
we send it all over there.
That's how it is.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
but there's a holistic approach of cleaning trash for me in the U.S. I think that's something that we could get better at.
Yeah.
But everything is there.
Which is an opportunity, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's something but an opportunity.
I think that's one thing I said, that to reuse that for building materials. How do you take fabric and then shred it and then use that fabric as insulation? How do you take plastics and then shred that plastics and then put it in a mold to create garbage cans? How do you recycle that? And then teach.
And then that all creates jobs.
It does.
And that all helps the economy.
There's so much opportunity. Going back to your question of what do we need? We need everything. Lisa, we need everything. Yeah.
But that's kind of romantic in a way, because it's. If you really roll up your sleeves, you could figure out how to make a big difference.
And that's the reason why you asked me if I work here. I could definitely create an impact here, but I think the impact is much bigger, and help people also rethink about how to create business, how to become businessmen on their own accord. So there's a lot of opportunity.
I love that.
Yeah. You should come with me.
I plan to. Maybe not 2026, but 2027.
You said 2027. So I have that.
I'm going to take you with me.
I have that booked.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be great. And again, one of the things it'll be nice to just get your input. What can we do better? To make this? Because it's great if we get better. The Western world also gets better. Everyone gets better.
I think it's all about just listening to the ideas that the people, wherever they are, have, and just how do you leverage it. Like, it's just bringing people together and listening to each other, and crazy cool stuff comes from that.
I don't think we're doing that anymore.
Yeah, well...
We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. I don't think we're
I love hearing about your ideas and what you're doing, and that inspires me in lots of ways. So thank you for taking the time
Appreciate
to do that.
It might sound utopian, right? It might sound grandiose, but if we don't do this, who else is going to do it? We have to do it. When I talk about I want to see a passenger boat go across the Gulf of Guinea, yes, sounds very... very ambitious, but who's doing it?
You are.
Well, I'm trying.
Make it happen.
I'm trying.
I have faith in you.
I'm trying. So who's like we have to create. We have to dare, and so that's what we're doing. But we need help.
Yeah, well, I'm
going to lean on you.
I'm here for you. I'm looking forward to staying in that beautiful hotel.
Please.
It opens soon?
Yeah, so the second quarter of next year is when we're doing Friends and Family.
Okay.
We would operate. We have a hotel operator out of South Africa, Index Hotels, who'll be running it. It's kitchen equipment on its way. Everything is on its way from the east, unfortunately. So
all good.
Yeah,
it's all baby steps.
We're very sure by second quarter of next year, you can come and visit, but we'll wait for you in 2027.
Yeah, I will be there. I gotta make sure you get the kinks out first.
Okay, all right. Okay, yes. So that's where we are.
Well, you are an impressive human, and I'm so honored that you take the time to just speak with me and teach me a little bit more about parts of the world that I need to get to, so I'm not so ignorant.
I appreciate this time. I've been looking forward to this. Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah, John Wall.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Yeah, I really, really appreciate you having us. And looking forward.
Fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, super interesting. I'm super excited that other people get to hear your story, and thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.